Good afternoon. Welcome to the Market Wrap for week ending the 26th of March 2021. It's been a year since I last travelled, so we've been in COVID enforced stay at home for that length of time. It's been quite a while, and the UK is just coming to the end of its lockdown. Some people are going to their second birthdays in lockdown, so it's been going on a long time. But let's talk about the property market. Rishi Sunak has said that he wants to change generation rent to generation buy. Is this happening? Is it possible? Can the UK economy support that? So let's just cover some of the underlying factors of what's going on in the UK economy and the UK housing market. Basically, Knight Frank have come out with a number of figures this week from a variety of different sources. They're saying that manufacturing output volumes climbed to levels not seen since 2019. In February, expectations of immediate pickup in growth are the strongest since August 2017. That's from the Purchasing Managers Index. Order books have improved to the highest readings since 2019. And the Ernst & Young Item Club says it's likely to raise the 2021 GDP growth forecast from 5% to somewhere between 6 to 7, which is China-esque sort of growth figures, which is fantastic. In addition, we're looking at unemployment. Unemployment was at 5% in January. Now, to a certain extent, that's because of the extension of the furlough scheme, but it is a very good picture, and it's been backed by a boom in public sector jobs. And it's something we touched on before about where are COVID-safe places to buy property. It's locations where you've got high public sector employment, which will grow, high biotech employment, which will grow. So that's an important factor to bear in mind, is that public sector employment is growing quickly. At the same time, the market itself is supporting the recovery, in that I think it's 46% of transactions, residential transactions went up by 46% in February, and for the whole of the last 12 months, we're only 5% down on the year before for transactions, i.e. purchases, which, bearing in mind the market was closed to 15% of that period, is an amazing show of resilience on behalf of the UK housing market. In fact, we should give it a pat on the back for that. On top of that is inventory levels, as far as property are concerned, are still tight. So that's forcing the market up because people don't want to move until they've found a house to move to, which is completely natural. At the same time, the lockdown, travel bans, that's supporting the housing market because you might as well buy in the UK and use your hard-earned holiday money to do that rather than planning to go overseas when we don't know when we'll be able to go or for how long or where. In fact, there's some great articles recently in the Guardian about people buying a houseboat in London and just basically travelling around the locks and rivers of London as opposed to going away on holiday. Fantastic ideas. Looking at lending is still up. Interest rates are very low, so lending is still rising. At the same time, the Mortgage Guarantee Scheme 2021, which is one of the generation rent to generation buy sort of pillars, has come into force. It's 5% you put down for up to £600,000. And what's interesting is not just first-time buyers; it's anyone can do this. And then also you get a fixed rate of interest for the first 5 years as well. So it's a very good knowledge of what you're going to be paying for the next 5 years. Your fixed rate. It's secured by the government, and basically how they're doing it is all the main street banks have been given a guarantee. Is that if we are foreclosed on, if we don't pay our mortgage, the government will pay any fees that the bank has to pay to get that money back. So it's quite a good scheme. It's had a lot of negative talk because it is overheating the market potentially, but we need to get out of this recession, and this is one of the ways that they're trying to do it. Now, there are clouds on the horizon in quite a few global economies in the residential property sector. And that's because markets are starting to overheat. Now, this is not where the UK is by any means at the moment, but some markets are. And if you look across at global markets, for example, New Zealand has gone up by 23% in the last year, which is not even the top gaining market, which is Turkey, which is up by 30% residential property prices. Slovakia is up by 16, the US by 10. So basically what you've got governments all around the world grappling with the effects of low interest rates, swelling asset prices and rising inequality, i.e. when it goes up in price, people who aren't earning enough can't afford to buy. So you've got an asset price bubble developing in some locations, and New Zealand is a perfect example of that. In fact, the IMF warned New Zealand of an impending pronounced correction following unsustainable rises in average house prices of more than 22% in the last year. Now, Jacinda Ardern, who's the Prime Minister there, has made her move, and basically they're cutting all the tax breaks for investors, and they're increasing a lot more land to be available for first-time buyers and giving them incentives, which again is similar to the Mortgage Guarantee Scheme 2021 we're doing in the UK. So there's a lot of support of the first-time buyers, and they're scrapping the tax incentives to try and cut that. Westpac Bank in New Zealand suggested that house prices may settle 10% lower in the longer term because of this. Now, that's nowhere near where the UK is. However, it's a warning sign of what could happen if this gets out of control. Now, bear in mind the the GDP of the UK is nearly 20 times, I think it is, 20 times the size of New Zealand. We're talking about a different sort of fish. But it is something, asset bubbles do happen. And so it could happen in the UK. We don't believe it will, but it's just something to bear in mind with inflation rising, interest rates low. So there we go, some factors that will support the UK economy, which is very positive, factors that will then support the UK housing market, which is very positive, and it does point to people like Savills and Zoopla suggesting that a 5 to 6% growth this year across the board is indeed possible, although not in every region. That's it for this week. Thank you for listening. Do take care.